Family bonds and respect for relationships was one of the greatest lessons from the life of Rasul Allah, a lesson that went far beyond words, a lesson lived every single day in his home, in his interactions, in the way he treated his relatives, his wives, his children, his companions who became like brothers, and even those outside his immediate family circle. When you look at how he honored family ties, you see a man who never separated spirituality from humanity, a man who showed us that true faith is reflected in the way you treat the people closest to you. It's easy to put on a smile for strangers, but it's the people under your roof who see the real you. That's where character is tested, and that's where the Prophet showed us an example that has lasted for centuries. He treated his parents with unmatched honor, even though his father had passed before he was born, and his mother died when he was very young. He never forgot them. Even later in life, he would show kindness to those who had known his mother. He would honor their presence, and he would even become emotional at the memory of his mother. That alone tells us something. Family ties don't end with death. The respect continues, the honor continues, and the connection remains. How many times do we forget to pray for our parents, to appreciate their sacrifices, to remember the small acts they did for us? The Prophet showed that part of faith is keeping those bonds alive, even when people have left this world. Then we look at his relationship with his foster family. Halima, his foster mother, and the people who cared for him as a child were never forgotten. When he grew up and became a leader, he didn't act like he was above them. He remembered those bonds, treated them with dignity, and gave them honor. That's powerful because it shows us that family is not just blood. It's about who raised you, who cared for you, who gave you love when you needed it. In a world where people quickly forget their roots, the Prophet reminded us never to cut those ties. Look at his marriage with Khadijah. That was a partnership built on loyalty, trust, and mutual respect. He never forgot what she did for him, how she stood by him when the world turned against him, how she sacrificed her wealth, her comfort, and her peace for his mission. Even after she passed away, he continued to honor her memory. He would send gifts to her friends, he would mention her with love, and he would never allow anyone to speak ill of her. Imagine that. How many of us honor our spouses that way even while they're alive, let alone after they're gone? He showed us that respecting your spouse is one of the greatest acts of faith, that love in a marriage is not just about feelings but about deep loyalty and honor. And then you see how he was with his children. He didn't act like a distant father, he wasn't harsh, he wasn't too proud to show affection. He would kiss them, hug them, and show love openly. He carried his grandsons on his shoulders, let them ride on his back during prayer, and didn't see it as something beneath him. At a time when people thought showing love was weakness, he showed that real strength is in compassion. Real strength is being tender with your family. His daughter Fatima was so special to him. Whenever she would enter the room, he would stand up for her, kiss her forehead, and seat her in the place of honor. Think about that. This is the leader of the Muslims, the messenger of Allah, standing up for his daughter. What a lesson for fathers today, that respecting your daughters, making them feel valued and honored, is not just culture, it's sunnah. And what about the way he balanced family with his responsibilities? He was leading a nation, receiving revelation, guiding people, facing enemies, and yet he always made time for his family. He never neglected them, never dismissed them, and never treated them as less important. That shows us that no matter how busy life gets, no matter how many responsibilities we carry, our family deserves our time, our attention, and our love. You can't say you're too busy for your parents, your spouse, your children, because the Prophet had more on his plate than any of us ever will, and still he made them a priority. His teachings about maintaining family ties extended to the wider circle as well. He taught that whoever wants their provision to be increased and their life to be blessed should maintain the ties of kinship. That means calling your relatives, visiting them, helping them when they're in need, and forgiving them when they hurt you. He lived that example himself. Even with relatives who opposed him, who hurt him, who fought him, he still tried to keep the door open. He prayed for them, he visited their homes, and he never let hatred cut off the bond of family completely. That doesn't mean he accepted their injustice, but he showed that respect and mercy are part of maintaining those ties. Think about the example of how he forgave his uncle Abu Sufyan after years of hostility, or how he prayed for guidance for Abu Talib even though he didn't accept Islam. These examples remind us that family bonds come with challenges, with disagreements, with pain, but they also come with the duty to keep the door of mercy open. How many times today do families fall apart over money, over ego, over misunderstandings? And yet the Prophet taught us that keeping those ties strong is not optional. It's part of faith. Even in small things, he showed the importance of family. He would help his wives with housework, he would mend his own clothes, and he would be gentle in his speech. That might sound simple, but think about it. This was the most important man in the world, and he humbled himself in his home. No arrogance, no entitlement, just kindness and service. That shows us that greatness outside the home means nothing if you're not good to the people inside your home. His farewell sermon, which was the summary of his message, included reminders about treating women with kindness, about respecting family, about taking care of those under your care. That shows that he considered family bonds central to the success of society. If families are broken, society is broken. If families are respected, societies are strong. And this is exactly the timeless lesson we need today. When you look at all of these examples together, you realize that the life of Rasool Allah was a masterclass in how to live with family. He honored parents, remembered foster ties, cherished his spouse, loved his children, respected his daughters, played with his grandchildren, supported his relatives, forgave those who wronged him, and taught his community that family is the foundation of faith. It wasn't just about rules, it was about living love, respect, and mercy in every moment of family life.